Hello everyone, it's Sabrina from Feng Shui and Prosper, and I do apologize for not having done a live stream in a while. You guys who joined me on October 23rd for my Feng Shui 2018 webinar, you know that we went way long. It was supposed to be 3 hours, we went 4 hours, but I took a week or so to kind of recuperate, and actually my daughter and we got sick too. So you're gonna hear me occasionally coughing. Hey Nita, who's watching me live, feel free to say hi. Today's topic is going to be fairly simple, I think, but if you have any questions, type it in the comments and I'll get to it. But this is a really good question that came up quite a bit when we were talking about, morning Nita, when we were talking about placements for 2015. And for most of you guys, this is my Feng Shui 2018 webinar was your very first foray. Hello, Canary. Your very first foray into classical Feng Shui, because people were like, so where do I put the dragon? Where do I put the money frog? Where do I put the laughing Buddha? Where do I put the Mandarin duck? And I'm like, no, you don't do any of those. Hey, Jolanda, how's it going, girl? It's been a while. Yeah, and hey, Crystal. And what I tell people really is, in classical Feng Shui, all you need to do is make sure that the elements that you put in your room are the right elements, at least the dominant element, right? And in classical Feng Shui, what are the 5 elements? Metal, fire, wood, water, earth. So the biggest, hey Sharon, the biggest misconception that I'm seeing, and you guys feel free to give me other questions, other insights as well, hey Wooey, is about water, right? Because obviously there's this huge push on the idea that water makes you money, that money helps you get the, that water helps you get that financial flow. Hey Gabriella. So while it is the case, there has been some awful bastardization. I'm sorry if I'm using that word, if you guys are a little bit sensitive to the wording, but it really is what it is. It's a butchering. Okay, maybe that's a better word. It's a butchering of the elements of Feng Shui. So those of you who watch Feng Shui 2018, we talked about where or which homes for period 7 and period 8 can see water in the southeast, right? Not all homes can have a water placement in the southeast this year. And those of you who did the webinar, you know, for period 7 and period homes, which homes cannot have water, because if you put water in the southeast, you're actually making things worse. You're actually going to be losing money. Hey, Clara from Florida. And so the main thing about putting water is that it needs to be yang water. It needs to be a fountain. And we talked about the specific types of fountain that's the best for Feng Shui. We talked about how much water is needed to actually activate that money energy, right? Hey, Hamad. Oh, wow, we have people from all over the world watching right now. And I just started. We're like, you know, US, Philippines, Middle East, like it's a great, thank you so much for watching, you guys. So the question is, what is a good replacement for water? It really depends on what you want to do. Okay, so are there replacements for wealth activation with water? No. And when it comes to the water element, okay? So what do I mean by that? If you are living in a place and you actually are in a period and a facing where you can have water in the southeast this year, and you guys who watch my Feng Shui 2018, you have that information already in the workbook. If you're in the right period and the right facing and you can have water in the southeast, what happens if you cannot put a fountain or if you can't put a fish tank? Then you can replace it with a moving object, right? It can be a clock, it can be a fan, but that's not an elemental replacement because the clock and the fan is not a water element. It still works, but it's not a water element replacement. Now, some people are going to go, well, I don't want to put a clock. I don't want to put a fan. I still want the water element there. Can I put a picture of a waterfall? No, because unless you have a special waterfall where water actually flows, it doesn't work. Even those 3D whatever animated stuff that has the blue color falling, it is yang, but it's not yang water. Okay, I hope you guys can get that distinction there. And I know there's this awful fast food feng shui notion that mirror is water. I actually don't know how that started. And I don't know my history, but I'm pretty sure mirror came from sand or something like that. I know crystals come from sand. And even in the olden days, before they had like the nice reflective mirror, they used metal, right? They used sheets of like more reflective metal to become the mirror. So I don't know where the idea that mirror is an element of water, I have no idea how that happened. But anyway, mirrors are not a replacement of a water element. Okay, so if you're wanting to use water to activate for money, hey Almir, you need actual water, actual moving water. So this is a fish tank. This is a water fountain. Okay. Now, so that's for activating a good energy. When do we use water to remedy negative energy? Now, those of you who follow Flying Star Feng Shui, or at least join me in my Feng Shui 2018 webinar, you know we talked about the 5-element cycle, right? So the number, so Flying Star Feng Shui is numbers 1 to 9, okay? The number that is negative that we want to remedy with water is number 7. Why is that? Number 7 is a metal number, and it's very negative. If you see the number 7, you're likely to get ill, you're likely going to lose opportunities, lose promotions, losing clients, losing relationships. You're likely going to find, be victim to actual robbery of like physical things, or even a robbery of your reputation, someone slandering you. That I feel is a sense of robbery as well. There's office politics, that's also potential with the number 7. There's misplacing something that's of extreme value to you. That's a form of loss as well. So number 7 is very, very negative. And especially as we go into number 9, a lot of my private clients, actually, I give them a heads up on number 7 more than the number 5. Because as of last year onwards, I'm seeing, and those of you who are more advanced in your Flying Star, feel free to watch that too. If the number 7 gets to your front door or your kitchen or your bedroom, you're going to find that you have a harder time that month compared to even when the number 5 visits your front door, your kitchen, or your bedroom. Or work back. Those of you who still have my 2017 calendar, work back and look at where's the number 7, where's the number 5, and try to figure out what were your experiences at that time. Most of you guys will report back to me and say, oh my gosh, Lafrina, you're right. Number 7 definitely kicked my butt a little bit more than number 5. Yeah, Nita knows. Nita knows. Even for me, when the number 7 hit the south, which is the astrological palace of the horse, and that's me. When the number 7 was in the south, that was, what month was that? I think it was August. No, it wasn't August. I forgot what month it was. I've got some medication in me for my cough. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely, really a very tense, a very panicky month. Yeah, so number 7 is a metal element. And we don't remedy the number 7 with, oh my gosh, do not remedy the number 7 with a water fountain, please. Please, I beg of you. If you want to take the risk, feel free to go ahead. Now, I'm not going to name names. But there is a world famous Feng Shui expert, although I give that person the title loosely. So this person, for years and years and years now, for as long as I know this person, has always recommended a water fountain to remedy the number 7. In my experience, actually my direct master, when she actually said, with number 7, if you put a water fountain, you die. Right? Very typical Asian like directness. She says, you die. And that has been our experience as well. And that's the reason why every time I look at this person's articles or books, I cringe when I see a water fountain being recommended for number 7. Now, you do need the blue element to remedy the metal element of the number 7. You do need that, but not moving water, because that's way too strong. And instead of remedying it, it actually doubles it, okay, strengthens it. It's the yangness of the water, the energy of the water. So if you want to remedy the number 7, you can use water. It can be a pail of water, non-moving water. Why water? Because water weakens metal. If you think about a car, right, or a piece of a sword or whatever, right? Oh, Canary, don't worry. I hope it's okay. Some of you guys who are watching me right now, we are booking private consultations, so I'll try to reduce your confusion as much as possible. So don't worry about that. But where was I? Oh, okay. So like a sword or an axe or whatever, it's metal, right? But what rusts up metal? It's water. So because the number 7 is a negative metal number, then we're using the water element to weaken it. You can use a pail of water because it is yin. Do not use moving water. To remedy the number 7, you can also use more blues. Now, black is also a water color, but between black and blue, which one feels stronger? It's blue. So blue is going to be a better color remedy for number 7 compared to black color. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And then my clients would go, oh, what shade of blue, right? Brighter blue, darker blue? Well, you know, if you really want to go into details, I personally would prefer a brighter blue, okay? Again, it feels stronger as a remedy that way. So, hey Steve, great live, thank you. Hey Vaishali. So this is the one that I specifically wanted to touch on, because a lot of people think that if they can't put a water fountain, then if they put a picture of a water fountain or a picture of a waterfall, then it's going to be good enough. No, it's hardly a comparison. The water element is there, but the yangness of the water is not there to activate the money, right? Steve, why is the number 7 the subject? Because we use water to remedy number 7. And my main intention for this live was to clear away the confusion, hopefully, although I know some of you guys got more confused. Clear away the confusion of why certain things are used as a water remedy and certain things are not used as a water remedy. Do you guys have any other questions about elemental substitutions? Let me try to think if there's anything else. Like for plants, for instance, if you want to activate the number 4, and again, for those of you guys who are here or who are going to be watching the replay, if you have not joined me in my Feng Shui 2018, now the live event has passed, but you can still get the recording. And I just counted between all the bonus webinars and the main event, there's 11 hours of video right there to help you prepare for 2018. And those of you who watched me, who watch either the live presentations or watch the replay, feel free to let me know. How do you like the webinars? How do you like the bonus webinars? How do you like the homeworks? How do you like the workbook, the calendar? Feel free to put in your comments under the video here. Monica is asking, how about number 5? Number 5 is an earth element. And this year the number, actually 2018, the number 5 is going to be in the north. And, well, everyone needs to remedy the number 5 this year. But what are things around the house that can trigger more number 5? It's earth element. So no, I don't use shapes as much, Crystal. Mine is like the actual element itself. So I don't use like, oh, the triangular is a fire shape. I don't go that deep. It just makes you go crazy. And I don't feel it that important. And I haven't heard the Grandmaster talk about it as well. Actually, I have a small secret. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but wait till the Grandmaster gives me the green light, then I will share it with you guys. Where was I? Number 5. Yeah. So what are earth elements? Earth elements are actual soil. So if you have, let's say, a big pot, right? A big pot, like a huge planter, and there's like, God knows, like maybe 50, 70 pounds worth of soil. That's a huge amount of earth element. You do not want that in the north this year. In the north, you don't want a big boulder. Hey, Hamad, thank you. You don't want a big boulder. Actually, in when I was apprenticing under my direct master, I was following her doing all these case studies. And it was unfortunate that the permanent energy had a number 5 there, and it was in the northwest, which hurts the patriarch the most, because northwest is the house of the patriarch, okay? Not the house of the mentor or whatever networking that fast food feng shui tells you, okay? Hey, Sylvie. So the permanent number 5 is in the northwest. It affects the father. And then they put in, as part of the landscaping of the house, they put in a huge boulder on the northwest. And on the year, and especially the month that the number 5 visited the northwest, which is also the front door. So it's triple whammy number 5, right? It's a permanent number 5, annual number 5, month number 5, and structurally, elementally, it's being supported by a huge boulder. That's when the dad had a huge, the father worked at a factory, got into a huge accident, and I think for quite a while was going through rehab, couldn't work, so it put the whole family in a very precarious situation. But I'm starting to say this now, Flying Star, don't lie. In that, you know, they didn't tell us when that accident happened. We worked it back. And we could say, was it this year? Was it around this month? Right? It definitely increases the possibility. It doesn't mean that it can't happen in other periods of time, but that is when that number 5 energy is just so concentrated. That boulder was the nail in the coffin, really. Okay, without that boulder, which is a structural, elemental, negative support, he would have maybe still gotten injured, but not to the extent that it did. And he probably wouldn't have to go through as much rehab as he did. Tally is asking, is fake plants okay in the north? Yeah, fake plants are fine. Exactly. So if you need wood in the north, but you don't want the earth from your pots, then you can put fake plants. I actually do suggest that to my clients all the time. Tracy is asking, what if permanent energy 5 or 2, then annual energy is 9? Would that double 5 or 2? Okay, great question. Go back to the beginning of the Feng Shui 2018 webinar if you guys are still confused about this, of the 5 element theory. Number 5 and number 2, actually I'm going to test you guys now. I did say number 5 is earth. What is number 2? What element is number 2? If you guys know, put that on. Okay. And what element is number 5? I could probably see you guys try to find your Feng Shui 2018 workbook right now. Who's trying to find your workbook? Okay. Perfect. Tracy and Sharon. Yeah. Number 5, number 2 are both earth numbers. What is number 9? What element is number 9? Anyone? Quickly? Oh, I have the sun right in front of me right now. Number 9. Okay, Hamad, good. Tracy, good. Number 9 is fire. Now go back to the 5-element cycle. What does fire do to earth? Great, Jackie. Amen. Perfect. What does fire do to earth? Fire increases earth. Fire produces more earth. Remember? So with the number 9 visiting the permanent 5 or 2, yeah, it increases the number 5, increases the number 2. Okay, perfect. You guys are starting to get it. Some of you are getting it. So that's really, really good. Your basic thing to remember is the 5-element theory. Okay, and your placements will go based on that. Okay, so that is awesome. For those of you, like, I think at Feng Shui 2018, how much time did I devote on the 5-element theory? I think probably a good 20 minutes, if not more. So if you guys want to build your classical Feng Shui studies, I hope you start it with me. Your first step would be to hopefully join me in Feng Shui 2018. You get all the replays, you get the workbook, you get the calendar, and though there's no email support, there's no Facebook Messenger support, I do try to support you guys through these bonus webinars. Now, for those of you who are joining me a little bit late, maybe you just found out about me, or maybe you know the previous timing wasn't great, or maybe you were sitting on the fence for a while. Oh my gosh, the sun is really, really bright. Let me just move a tiny bit. It's really bright. It's like absolutely just in my face right now. Okay. So you can register at fengshui2018.com. If anyone would help me put the link up, it's fengshui2018.com. Between all the bonus webinars, so far bonus webinar number 1 is Inner Feng Shui for Money. Bonus number 2 is Inner Feng Shui for Love and Relationships. Nita says, trust me everyone, it is worth it. Join her in private consultation is the best. Yes. We did talk about good, better, and best. Good is to do the Feng Shui 2018. Better is to do the 1-hour video consult with me, and best is to do the private consult with me. Now the private consult, I have to say I don't have that many spots left because quite a few were snapped up after we finished the Feng Shui 2018 webinar. So yeah, so bonus webinar number 2 was on Inner Feng Shui for Money and Relationships. Bonus webinar number 3, so those first 2 were about 2 hours worth of presentation. Bonus number 3 is me going through facing and compass direction and everything, and even period of home, because and I got really amazing questions emailed to me with regards to that. That's the that's 3 hours. That bonus webinar number 3 ran 3 hours, and then there's the main event, which is 4 hours, and we go over how you prosperify your home for 2018. We talk about the elements, we talk about how the period of the home, like, you know, how do you activate, how do you not activate, and these are not generalized, okay? Many of my students came back to tell me they have never seen a presentation like my webinar before, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I know many of them will agree with me. Thank you so much, Steve, for that. Yes, Sharon did go with a private consult. Sharon, that was a lot of questions that really, Feng Shui cobweb questions that really got cleared up after we did the consult, didn't it? And then I'm holding a bonus webinar number 4, which is happening, which I wasn't planning on offering, by the way, but I see the questions over and over again. Bonus webinar number 4 is happening November 18th. It's a Saturday. It's at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It would be about 2 or 3 in the afternoon in Europe. It would be about 11 o'clock in parts of Asia and Australia, maybe a little bit later for you guys in Australia and New Zealand. But I'm just trying to, because I have people seriously from all over the world. I have 300 plus people registering, and I want to make, and it's hard for me to juggle the best time zone for people. But November 18th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is bonus webinar number 4, because the question after that is, Safrina, now I have my layout. Now I know how to activate for north, south, east, west, and all that, beautiful directions. How do I figure out what part of my layout is what direction, right? Because a lot of you guys have been doing feng shui with the pie grid. Stop doing that. With the 3x3, the 3x3 grid is okay, but not great. So, and actually I just finished recording the video, the pre-webinar video, which is your homework for you guys to watch, those who did register for Feng Shui 2018, to watch that before you watch bonus webinar number 4, because that should answer your question about how to demarcate. After you finish watching that, if you still have questions specifically to your layout, then you can email that to me. Okay. Sylvie, how can I order a personal consult? You message me and we'll take care of it. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.